Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are here with Stream Punk Entertainment, and my name is obviously Robert Manning, and that's Davion Bushy. And we are
You
here to talk about Daredevil Born Again.
again.
First off, how are you doing, Mr. Davion?
Yo, I'm here. I'm chilling like a villain. And look at the swag I got. I got the X-Men jacket with the
Oh,
X-Men hat.
look at the shameless plug of merch. Nah, just kidding. We represented the good old Marvel. I'm wearing Disney, so it works too because it's the mouse and the mouse owns everything. So let's get started. We are going to talk about Daredevil Born Again, and the first thing you should know is this show's amazing.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. I'm going to hear Dave's opinions here in a second. But I will say one thing is before you do watch this show, not this show, or actually, yes, actually, before you watch this video, you should know we are going to be talking about spoilers. So that
Yes.
is your warning. Spoiler alert. We are going to be talking about spoilers. But also another thing you should know is before you start the Daredevil Born Again show, you need to watch season 3 of Daredevil. Um, you don't need, but it would help for you to
Right.
understand what's going on because it's literally a continuation from the Netflix straight to the Marvel. Now I've talked too long, so we're gonna throw it to Day and see what his thoughts are.
Okay, so after watching the Daredevil series on Disney Plus, I really had to say this is by far the best series Disney has to offer because of the fact that they brought back the original directors, the creators, and then not only that, they had to recycle and go from scratch. Not from scratch, but actually go by the comic book. They have the murderous muse, if I'm getting the character right, the one with the mask that use people's body, like kill people as of art. And then they had pretty much it felt like a Punisher show as well. Like everything was featured more of the Punisher. Um, it's just a lot of stuff to grasp from it to the point where it was enjoyable to the very end.
I will say that I'll give you that, and yeah, huh,
No, go
huh,
ahead.
um, and like Day said, yeah, out of every Marvel project that we've gotten TV shows, this is literally one of the best TV shows that we've gotten. I would say compared to TV shows that may compare this is Loki season one. Loki season
Mhm.
one was pretty good. So I would compare that to this show. But yes, this is my favorite. I had a couple little issues with this. And here's where the spoiler comes in. We get a random, and I call it random because I feel like it was random. We get a random cameo because they're like, hey, by the way, this is in the MCU. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna slap you right in the face and just let you know this is a in the MCU. And some people may have been confused by this cameo because if you have not watched the TV show Miss Marvel, if you have not watched the Marvels, you're not going to know who this character is. And I am talking about no other than Camilla or Miss Marvel's father that
Yeah.
makes a cameo. And I think it was like episode 5. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was episode 5. It could have been 6. But I think it was 5. Yeah. But you'll know when you see it because I love when we get some placement product and he goes, my daughter even has a customized Funko Pop and shows little Miss Marvel Funko, which was kind of meta. It was kind of weird for them to acknowledge Funko Pops in the MCU because I think that's the first time we've ever had a mention of a Funko Pop, and I like how they said
Yeah.
customized, but still they said Funko.
Right. So it's like they're advertising,
Oh
trying
yeah,
to build Funko as a brand, but also, hey, Disney's giving you a shout out.
right. They're like, hey, by the way, it's like I mean, obviously, it'd be like, hey, we got a Funko Pop, of Randall from Aliens, It'd be something like that. Or actually, I should have probably grabbed my Daredevil Funko Pop because, yeah, this would have been a perfect one to show, but I wasn't thinking. But we do have a Daredevil Pop signed by Mr. Charlie Cox. But yeah, for me, that threw me off, and I didn't think it was necessary to have him as a cameo. Especially, I mean, I understand it may lead to something eventually, like how they say, "Oh, well, we'll invite you over to dinner sometime." And I know there's going to be some fans that want to see that, but I just felt like it was such a random cameo and felt like, I don't know, just like throw a bone, but I don't think we needed it. I wish we would have got a different Marvel cameo. What's your thoughts,
Right.
Jay, on it?
Yeah, they should have given us another Marvel cameo. I think that one was kind of like a letdown, but at the same time, it it could have been better, but it was like, okay, whatever. They could have just did Miss Marvel
I mean,
as a
true.
cameo.
They could have just gave us Miss Marvel, which, I mean, he did say it sounds like we're going to get some kind of scene eventually where it's going to be them having dinner, which this could be their way of leading more into the young Avengers, and they don't want us to see like the original Avengers anymore. So they give you a young Avengers because Miss Marvel is part of the young Avengers. So, maybe that's how it's going to tie in. It would have been kind of cool if we would have got like some kind of post-credit scene where, for giggles, it showed that, because that's was some
Yeah,
people's theories. Um,
and
so that was kind of random, but that was throwing it in the face of saying, hey, we're part of the MCU. Another thing that tells you it's in the MCU, obviously the first episode, but that's not what I'm referring to. When Matt Murdock has this one certain case about this guy stealing, he like steals some food and stuff. Um, he mentions the scrolls.
yeah,
There was another. It's like, okay, we're in the MCU, because he's like, are you sure they're not a scroll? And he's like, no, they're not a scroll. So it's like they're trying to follow events to give us some kind of timeline, but it's just so interesting, like the little plugs and stuff of little twinkles into the MCU. And another disappointing thing I found out recently is we can't have Kingpin in a movie.
wait,
Uh,
what?
yes, we cannot have Kingpin in a movie. He can only show up in TV shows. So if you guys were hoping for him to be in Spider-Man 4, as of right now, that is not possible because of contracts of the character Kingpin is only in contracts. He can only be used in TV shows, and that's why you've only seen him show up in TV shows like this one, Echo, and stuff like that. And I think that goes for live action, because I know somebody may argue, well, what about the Kingpin? I think that was in the Spider-Verse show. Well, that's a cartoon, and that was owned by Sony. It's something to do with, I think, the Sony rights and stuff until that actually gets. But yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio said that in an interview recently, because people are asking, do you think you'll cross over? And he's like, well, I can't until that contract gets changed.
That's a slap in the face to. That's really a slap in the face.
Now, I've been hearing there's talks of Marvel finally being able to buy Sony. If that happens, then that won't be an issue. But for right now, you'll only see Mr. Kingpin, and oh my gosh, they are trying to give us the most accurate Kingpin that we have seen. And I like I did like the one little reference that we got when he rips his jacket and says, I'm getting too big for this jacket. That is showing that he is building in size, and we're getting more of a bulk version of Kingpin that we're supposed to have. So that was nice.
Nice.
Let's go with the next topic of Mr. Daredevil. What was your favorite scene in the show, Mr. Day?
I like the scene where he killed the cat that what you call it cat, and they made and his daughter made an appearance. So we know that there is a future of I forgot the character's name. The one with the cat outfit on?
And rest in peace the actor. You're talking about the White Tiger.
Yeah. Right Tiger.
Um, and what about him?
Like I like the fact that they gave him a good send off. And now we get to introduce the daughter into as the White Tiger.
Yes,
And we know which
the daughter is in the show, and what that means is that in the comics, she becomes the White Tiger. So hopefully in season 2, I can really see her stepping up to the mantle, especially after the events of season 1 at the very end.
or or she could be part of the Young Avengers.
Well, yeah, but it's going to start off with her probably joining Daredevil's team because he says we need an army. And I almost want to say that's a Hulk reference. I know it's not. Actually, that could be a Hulk reference, and we could be getting She-Hulk in season 2. Actually, now
that is true. Yeah.
That is funny. I just thought about that because that could be a play on words of Mr. Tony Stark, or I mean, actually, it was Loki that goes, we have an army, and he says, well, we have a Hulk. So I don't know. Maybe that's a hint but I really think that's a hint that we're getting the Defenders back because there's already been talks of most, if not all, the Defenders coming back for season 2 of Daredevil. So it would be nice to see Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. And I don't care all the hate. I was the one person that actually loved it, but it would be nice to see Danny Rand back as Iron Fist because I enjoyed that show. I don't care the backlash it got, but I enjoyed it because it was a great show.
Well, we'll see what happens because Disney is good for changing things up. So we don't know where things can.
They're good changing, but not. They haven't really changed Daredevil himself, and it's already been confirmed that the Defenders are coming back.
Yeah, but the question is it going to be played by the same actors?
Yes. It's already been. I know at least the 2 that have been confirmed that Luke Cage's actor and Jessica Jones' actors are confirmed. And
but
if we've learned anything in this Daredevil show, they have not replaced anybody. No people have been replaced actor-wise. So
okay.
They're not. I understand what you're saying, but it is now to the point where any of the Netflix shows are now canon to the MCU. So any of that stuff, yes, they could go a route where they maybe because some people didn't like Danny Rand, they could do a different Iron Fist. Yes, I get that because there are different versions of Iron Fist too that they could throw in. But I don't see the way they did this show. I could see them doing it on a different show, but I don't see them doing it on the Daredevil show. That's just my opinion. But it would be interesting to see what cameos. I was a little shocked that we didn't get any She-Hulk reference. That's why I'm hoping that we got a army as maybe I know it's a stretch, but it would be nice because the She-Hulk thing was before the show. Like those are events before, so it's interesting that he didn't mention her at all. But what Day was saying too earlier is about like how you did have different directors and stuff, but that's why there has been some complaints in some of the episodes because yes, they hired the different people, but it was really only, I think they said 1, 2, and 8 and 9, or 1, 8, and 9 are the actual Netflix ones. The other episodes, yes, they scrapped them, but they had to use pieces from that stuff as well. So they didn't reshoot everything for the show. So I'm excited to see what happens for season 2 because it'll be just the Netflix people. And I say let them cook. I mean, because that's literally what those last 2 episodes. There's some people that were disappointed in it. I wasn't disappointed in it. It was crazy. There was concerns of Marvel saying, "Oh, well, Marvel's going to, make this PG." No, literally. Spoiler, even though we've already said spoilers. Kingpin literally smashes a person's head with his own hands. Like the freak, he just like, and I mean, I had a feeling that the guy was going to die, but not literally in the hands of Kingpin. I mean, literally, just like smash a head and see a head get smashed like that was wild.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
No, you did not, and he didn't either because he lost his sight, you can say. But yeah, no. And that just
But I will
shows.
say,
Oh, wait, sorry, what did you say?
I was about to say that Disney and Marvel has stepped their game up more towards their PG-13 and rated R standards because of the fact that they're starting to understand they're starting to take risks. And it makes a lot of sense because everything you can't treat as a G or PG now. And if you buy products, you can't make it a G or a PG. You can make it a PG-13, and you can make it a rated R.
Right. And
For a mature audience.
right. And that was like them doing that. And someone I was listening to a review and they're like, I can't remember the last time Marvel's done this. Well, I think, and I wanted to comment, I didn't put it in the comments, but it's like the biggest thing I think that gave Marvel the I would say the thumbs up that made them go this ballsy is Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah.
I mean, because Deadpool Wolverine had some gruesome stuff.
Yes, it did.
There was blood and guts everywhere throughout the thing. So that
if you know what Rob is talking about, because if you haven't seen the movie, you already know which character and what happened.
Well, yeah, Deadpool Wolverine. I mean, if you haven't seen that by now, I'm sorry. That's just your loss because that movie came out back in August and it's literally April. So,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen Deadpool Wolverine, go check it out on Disney Plus. It's there right now for free. I mean, yeah, subscription, but basically for free. You know what I mean? And while you're there, you might as well watch Daredevil Born Again if you haven't already. And you're still watching this review and you haven't seen it, go watch it because it is amazing. Yes, I had a few little complaints about it, but I enjoyed every episode. And some people, the biggest complaint about this season that I know I have seen the most is the fact that they didn't tie a lot of the church stuff with Daredevil. That is some of people's favorite stuff from season 3 is the whole church thing. And they kind of left that out. But I think that's really because of like the whole different writers and all that stuff. And I think that's why I think season 2 will probably be better than season 1. And that's saying a lot. But if Marvel plays their cards right and they just listen to those Netflix people that gave us great product, then it's going to cook. And you have no problem. This is going to be their cash cow. This show has put faith back in me with Marvel. Now I understand not all shows are going to be like this, and that's going to suck. But I know for sure season 2 is going to it's going to be better. There's no way it can't be.
Yeah. So this, I guess, pretty much like I agree with Rob on this one. I can't wait for season 2. And Disney and Marvel, y'all better do your thing with it because look, we're gonna be watching y'all.
Yeah.
And knowing the audience, we need it. Y'all need it. We don't need it. Y'all need it. Sorry,
I was gonna say, and give us some more episodes. Because the difference between the Marvel, I don't know why Marvel's trying to stick down to this only 9 episode, less than 10 episode format. But if you look at the original season of Daredevil, it was 13 episodes. Yes, that means the story gets pushed a little further, but you could have given us more meat, like the whole Muse thing. You got rid of him, and some people are saying they basically, compared to the comics, they nerfed him in the show a little bit. I don't know how true that is because I haven't read the comics. I understand he's power. Either they nerfed him in the comics or they nerfed him in the show. I got kind of confused with that statement, but I think they nerfed him in the show.
Nerfed him in the show.
Yes, but here's the other thing. He's supposed to be your main villain of season 1, and then you just kill him off before like the 2 episode, like by episode 7. That was a little. It's like, okay, what's next? Yes, it helped push the. Then we got to see more of Kingpin and stuff. I get that, but I felt like it should have been, something that should have been throughout the show, and then got killed in the season finale or something.
Right.
Because
no, I agree with you.
As your big bad.
I agree with you on that, and I think that's when they should have introduced Bullseye, or they Bullseye more of a threat.
Well,
later on.
Well, they did. Bullseye. I mean, they did a good job with getting him out, and there are set photos. I have not seen them because I don't like spoilers, but according to shout out to the wonderful Ductates, those bros that we've had on this beautiful channel. There are set photos of Bullseye and of Daredevil's suit, and they say they cook. They actually got to go to the premiere of this and got to interview Charlie and both Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. They got to ask one question, and like this whole like certain creators got invited to do this whole New York experience where they got to go to different parts of New York, and they went on like a tour and stuff, and that was pretty cool. Shout out to them. We always love to give a good shameless plug to people that we care and love about, especially that have been on our channel that know this stuff as much as we know this stuff, and they actually put out a review for this show, and I agreed with their review for the most part. I gave this a little higher than they did. What would you rate this out of 10 for the entire season?
I would say it's kind of better than the Netflix series, so I would say about an 8.7.
8.7? That's all.
Maybe an 8.9. 8.9.
What do you give Loki? That's my question to you.
Loki, I give it a 9.3.
You thought Loki was better than this season?
Because it has more to a story. But
that is wild! You're canceled! I'm done! I'm quit! Goodbye, everybody! No, I'm just kidding. Okay, that's good. I will say I give this a 9, and I probably gave Loki a 8.5. But, man, that is a wild take. Guys, attack him in the comments. No, I'm kidding. Just don't attack Day. I'm just messing.
Hey, I want all the smoke, ladies and gentlemen.
He's got the hot takes. I need to throw some ice at him for that hot take. Oh, I will say I see where you would say Loki's a little better, and that's because Loki is a little bit more story-wise, which I hope we get in season 2, and I hope, like I said, I hope they give us like 13 episodes. Marvel,
right.
We can take a 13-episode show. We will watch what you produce. You know, some projects, no. But when it comes to Daredevil, let him cook. Give us 13 to 15 episodes. Give us more story. We do want the story. For this show, yes. Give us the story. There's other stuff we could give no rats of a story.
How about this? Marvel, give us the smoke. Give us all the smoke.
Give us the smoke. Give us the X-Men 97. Like, like that was another fire show. Is the X-Men 97 show. That cooked. Like, you guys have your goods, but you guys have had your bads. And to be honest, I'm afraid of what can happen. But anyways, let's not get too off topic. But so I say I give it a 9. One of my favorite MCU shows that have been released. And then I would say probably Loki, and then I would say Secret Invasions, which I know that's a hot take, but I actually enjoyed the show because each episode made me want to go to the next and go to the next and go to the next, and then that plot twist we got at the end about the Skrulls, that to me, I liked it. Yes, did it go based on the comics? Not really, but it was still cool. So that's just my hot take there. Do you have any final thoughts? Any other things you want to talk about? Daredevil, any other scenes? Any other, or do you have any other predictions for season 2?
Now, I may have a prediction.
Okay, let's hear a prediction.
There is going to be an uprising. Yes, you're going to have the Defenders, but you're going to have some new additional members that probably are readier in the MCU or going to make their first appearance in the MCU.
Okay, who are you thinking?
I'm going to leave that to the audience.
No, I want to hear who you think, and then the audience.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dayveonne Bussy, and that's Rob
Done. I'm the one that controls this show, sir. Tonight, I am the one that's in charge, and we are not closing yet because I will give my prediction. And my prediction is Foggy is still alive.
Oh, yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah, Foggy. Now, they want you to think he was dead. They told you a million times he's dead. But somehow he's still alive. And I almost threw my phone when I thought they were going to kill off Punisher. Thank God they didn't, but it almost seemed. They almost seemed like they were killing off Punisher. I said, don't.
They're not. They wasn't going to kill off Punisher.
But they could have. They had the chance.
No.
They did?
No. They couldn't because.
Tied up and they could have shot him in the head.
They could have, but they didn't. Because Punisher is a major player in the MCU, so killing the Punisher will be the death.
Hopefully we get that secret, hopefully we get the Daredevil show that we were already supposed to get, Punisher show we were already supposed to get, the War Machine, where Punisher was supposed to, what is that storyline, with the different machines and stuff. Anyways, you guys can tell us in the comments because my brain's not working, but it's a series where Punisher wears the War Machine outfit. Secret Armors, I think is what that's called. Yeah. So, but predictions, I think we're going to see for next season, I think we are going to see She-Hulk. I think we're going to see the other Defenders. I think we may get a Spider-Man cameo. Maybe. Who knows?
No, we're not going to get a Spider-Man cameo.
We can.
No, we're not. If we do, it'll probably be somewhat in the Spider-Man.
We can get a Spider-Man cameo because the two have interacted.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be in that level. I think it's going to be. I'm going to tell you who I think probably going to make a cameo, has a bigger chance of making a cameo. It's going to be Ned.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, Peter has literally interacted with him.
I know.
You could say, well, how could that work out? Because technically, you're right. It could be where or we're going to see Daredevil in the fourth Spider-Man, and he's going to need a lawyer, and he knows a really good lawyer. So,
Right.
also, I love how they really played with that joke in the show. They said that multiple times. I'm a good lawyer, and that was all because of Spider-Man, and that was hilarious. So there was the Spider-Man reference right there, too.
Right.
So they're poking us. They're poking us with the stick. But any final thoughts, Day?
No final thoughts.
No final thoughts. He's gonna leave you guys suspension. He's not gonna say who he thinks is going to be in season 2 because Day is a chicken.
No, I'm not chicken. I just like to let the audience
All right,
get
tell
the.
us one character. Just say one character that you personally think that has a 97% chance of being in it. Just one.
Rosario Dawson. Character.
Wait, Rosario Dawson. She was what? Oh, I forgot she was in the original show.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rosario Dawson for season 2. Okay, I like that prediction. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Robert Manning, and that's Dayveonne Bussy, and you are watching Stream Punk Entertainment, aka Stream Punk Cinema. Woo! And we're out of here. Peace.
Peace.